He doesn't own a Rolex. He drives a 9-year-old Camry with a dent in the bumper he never bothered fixing. And last month, his net worth crossed $11 million. I met him at a gas station, of all places. He was checking his tire pressure at 6 a.m., wearing a windbreaker that looked like it survived 3 different decades. If you passed him on the street, you wouldn't look twice. And that's exactly the point. Because the truth about wealth in America right now is almost offensive in how simple it is. The people with the most money are usually the ones who look like they have the least. Meanwhile, the ones flexing on Instagram, the ones with the rented Lambos and the fake watches, most of them are 3 missed payments away from disaster. There's a name for this. Broke people buy things to look rich. Rich people buy things that make them richer. Feel that for a second because we're going to come back to it. I'm going to walk you through 10 things this man does every single day. Not once a year. Not when he feels motivated. Every day, like brushing his teeth. And I promise you, by the end of this, at least 2 or 3 of these are going to sting a little. Because you'll realize you already know them. You're just not doing them. But stick with me, because habit number 7 is the one that changed his life completely, and I'm not telling you what it is yet. Let's start with his mornings, because this is where almost everyone gets it wrong. He wakes up at 5:15, not because some guru told him to, but because he figured out something most people never do. The first 90 minutes of your day are the only 90 minutes nobody else owns. No emails, no Slack messages, no wife asking about the grocery list, no kid crying, no boss calling. It's the one window where your mind belongs entirely to you. He spends it reading, not scrolling, reading, actual paper, actual pages. He told me once that Charlie Munger said something that rewired his whole brain. In my whole life, I have known no wise people who didn't read all the time. None. Zero. That sentence sat with him for years. He treats reading the way broke people treat Netflix, a non-negotiable part of the evening. Except his is at dawn when the brain is sharpest and nobody's watching. Here's the reframe most people miss. You think successful people are busier than you? They're not. They're just protective of the same 24 hours you're wasting on autopilot. Second habit, and this one's uncomfortable. He tracks every single dollar. Not in some fancy app with push notifications, a plain spreadsheet updated by hand every night before bed. 5 minutes, maybe less. I asked him why he still does this after becoming a multimillionaire, and he said something I haven't forgotten. The day I stop watching the small numbers is the day I lose the big ones. Most people think wealthy people stop caring about money once they have enough of it. Backwards. They started caring about it obsessively before they had any. That's how they got it. There's a study out of Harvard Business School that found people who track spending daily save, on average, nearly 20% more than those who check monthly. 20%. That's not a rounding error. That's a house. That's a kid's college fund. That's the difference between retiring at 55 and retiring never. Now here's where it gets interesting because habit 3 is going to sound insane at first. He eats the same lunch almost every day. Grilled chicken, rice, vegetables. Boring? Maybe. But he's not optimizing for excitement. He's optimizing for what he calls decision energy. Every choice you make burns a tiny bit of mental fuel. Psychologists call it decision fatigue, and it's real. It's why judges are statistically more lenient right after lunch than right before it, because their brains are simply depleted by 3 p.m. The quietly wealthy understand something the rest of us ignore. Your brain has a battery, not an unlimited charger. Wasted on what should I wear and what should I eat. And by 2 p.m., you've got nothing left for the decision that actually matters. The one email, the one negotiation, the one investment that moves the needle. He's not lazy about lunch. He's ruthless about where his energy goes. Stay with me because we haven't even gotten to the money habits yet. And those are the ones that actually built the 11 million. Fourth thing he does, every single day without fail. He asks one question before spending anything over $100. Not, can I afford this? Anyone can afford almost anything if they finance it long enough. The question he asks is, does this buy me time or does this buy me status? Status purchases evaporate. A new phone, a nicer jacket, a car upgrade. The dopamine lasts about 11 days. There's actual psychology research on this. It's called hedonic adaptation. And after that, you're right back to baseline, just poorer. But a purchase that buys time, outsourcing a task, automating something, paying for a system that saves him 4 hours a week, that compounds. Because time, unlike a jacket, can be reinvested. This is the actual difference between someone who looks rich and someone who is rich. One is spending to feel something today. The other is spending to own more tomorrows. Let that sit for a second because it applies to more than money. It applies to relationships too, and we'll get there. Habit 5 is the one nobody talks about on YouTube because it's not sexy enough for a thumbnail. He has one conversation a week, just one, with someone smarter than him in a specific area. Not networking events, not LinkedIn DMs, a real scheduled sit-down conversation. Sometimes it's his accountant, sometimes it's a guy who runs a plumbing business 3 times the size of anything he's built. He said something that stuck with me. I've never made a big decision alone that I later regretted less than the ones I ran past someone first. Warren Buffett built his entire empire next to Charlie Munger for over 50 years, and he said publicly the partnership added more to his thinking than almost anything else in his career. The quietly wealthy are not lone wolves. That myth, the solo genius grinding alone in a garage, is mostly marketing. Real wealth is built in rooms with other people who already know what you're trying to learn. Now, quick pause, because if this is hitting something in you, if you're starting to see your own week reflected back at you, and it's making you a little uncomfortable, that's good. That discomfort means it's working. Drop a comment right now with the number that stung the most so far. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, because I read every single one and it tells me exactly what to cover deeper next time. Okay, habit 6. He moves his body every day, but not for the reason you think. Not vanity. He told me discipline is a muscle, and if you don't train it somewhere small and physical, you won't have it when something big and financial needs it. A 28-year-old software engineer I know, sharp guy, makes great money, told me once he can't stick to a budget for more than 3 weeks. You know what he also can't stick to? A gym routine, a sleep schedule, literally anything requiring delayed gratification. That's not a coincidence. Discipline doesn't compartmentalize. If you can't say no to the snooze button, you're going to struggle saying no to impulse spending. The body is where you practice the no before your bank account ever needs to hear it. We're closing in on the habit that changed everything for him. Habit 7. But there's one more piece you need first, or it won't make sense. He goes to bed by 9:30. In a world where everyone brags about hustling until 1 a.m., this feels almost rebellious. But sleep-deprived decision-making is measurably worse. There's research showing that just one night of poor sleep impairs judgment and risk assessment almost as much as being legally intoxicated. Think about that. Every time you stay up doom-scrolling until 1 a.m. and then make a financial decision the next day tired and foggy, you are, functionally, making that decision drunk. The quietly wealthy protect sleep like it's a business asset because it is one. It's the only recovery system you get for free and almost nobody uses it properly. Now, habit 7, here's the pivot. For years, this man thought wealth was about what you accumulate. More clients, more properties, more zeros. And he was right, sort of. Until his business partner, someone he trusted for over a decade, quietly walked away with almost everything during a legal dispute that lasted 2 brutal years. He didn't lose his money because of a bad market. He lost it because of a bad relationship he never protected. And that's when it flipped for him. The 7th habit isn't a productivity hack at all. It's this. Every day, he protects something before he grows something. He reviews contracts. He checks in on the people he trusts. He asks himself quietly, who has access to hurt me right now? And how do I close that door? Growth gets all the attention. Protection is invisible, boring, unglamorous, and it's the reason he still has anything left today. Most people build wealth like they're building a sandcastle at low tide, never once looking at the water. That single shift, protect first, grow second, is worth more than every stock tip you'll ever hear on this platform. Habit 8, and this one's short but brutal in its honesty. He says no more than he says yes. To dinners, to favors, to quick calls that turn into an hour. Every yes is a hidden no to something else, usually to the thing that actually matters, like his kid's soccer game or the deep work that pays the bills. Derek Sivers has a line that the quietly wealthy live by, even if they've never heard it. If it's not a hell yeah, it's a no. Broke energy says yes to everything out of fear of missing out. Wealthy energy says no to almost everything out of respect for what it's already building. Habit 9. He reviews his goals every single evening, not just on New Year's Day like the rest of the country. 2 minutes, no more. Did today move me closer or further from where I'm going? That's it. That's the whole practice. It sounds too simple to matter, and that's exactly why most people skip it. They're addicted to complexity, convinced the answer has to be complicated to be real. It's not. Consistency beats intensity every single time. A study on habit formation out of University College London found that small daily actions repeated consistently reshape behavior far more reliably than occasional big efforts. Average time for a habit to become automatic was around 66 days, not the mythical 21 everyone quotes. And the 10th habit, the quietest one of all, he stays hidden, on purpose. No flashy car, no watch flex, no location tags, because visibility invites two things: jealousy and predators, sometimes literal ones. Wealthy families who advertise their wealth online have become actual targets. There have been real, documented cases of burglaries tied directly to social media flexing, homes robbed while families posted vacation photos in real time from the exact location the world could see. The quietly wealthy understand something almost nobody wants to hear. The whole point of money is freedom, and broadcasting it takes freedom away. Silence isn't insecurity. Silence is armor. If this video helped you, like it, share it with someone who could benefit, and subscribe for more insights.